Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. What's poppin', what's poppin'? Uncle P here for another episode of Sunday Service. I hope y'all enjoyed the last one. Like I said, I'm trying to do these every Sunday for y'all. Yeah, man. I went to the gym this morning. Y'all know I gotta open it up. Little recap of my morning. Wake up, go to the gym. Today in the gym, dog, I whooped the gym's ass. I did. All right, so I fucked my back up a couple days ago doing deadlifts. It felt like sciatic pain. If y'all don't know, sciatica is like nerve pain or whatever. I felt that shit in my lower left side of my back, middle of my left ass cheek, down my thigh, down my hamstring into like my big toe. That's where I felt all that shit. So no deadlifts probably for like a month because I've had this injury before and it goes away with rest. Was able to squat, and I did a lot of arms today, and then I ran another mile, and I got my I beat my time. I ran a mile in like 7 minutes 36 seconds. So that's how my morning went, man. So I do encourage y'all to get in the gym. Spring is around the corner. I don't want to see y'all at the pool with y'all shirts on. I don't want to see y'all taking pictures, putting emojis over y'all stomachs. Fellas, I don't want to see the little titties and under the t-shirts. Like, y'all gotta get in the gym. Get with me, please. I'm begging y'all. So I'm gonna start today's show. I got a few topics. I'll try to consolidate them. And I'm gonna try to do timestamps so that, for those who can't just sit and watch one video through a sitting, timestamps would be for you. All right, so first topic I wanted to talk about was, all right, so I'm 29 and I've had maybe 3 serious girlfriends in my life. A fourth one, if you want to count my 7th grade relationship, it lasted about 6 months or 3 months, something like that. So I've had 3 girlfriends in my life, and I've never been in a relationship for less than 2 years. And I want to bring that up because there's this term that I've coined called a rush and fuss relationship. And I've coined it that because, as many of you may know, or as many of you may see, you see a lot of people these days get together quickly. Like, all right, have you ever seen like tweets or posts and they'll say like, how long until you tell the person you're dating you love them? And a lot of times you'll see in the comments, people will say the first hour, the first link, first day, shit like that. Or take it a step further, you might hear people say, how long until you're having like raw sex with someone? And out the gate, people would say like immediately. And I think, and this actually goes back to my last Sunday service where I talked about like people just being followers and just, wanting to be a part of shit. And I think it's kind of trendy for people to like talk like that. Like, it only take me a day to fall in love. It only take me 2 days to want to have raw sex with you and shit like that. And I think people joke. I think it started off as people joking about it, but now I think it's at a point where people say it so much that they start to believe it and mean it. And I think that has created a culture where a lot of young people in their 20s are, they're not as, they're not really moving with any discretion when it comes with relationships. Now, if you're just like dating, if you're like a Casanova or whatever, you just out here, you just, talking to women, 3-4 women at a time, having sex with them, but you're not leading them on to believe y'all ever going to be together. That's totally different than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the people out there who, date to get in a relationship, because everybody's not dating to get in a relationship. So I'm talking to people out there who are dating to get in a relationship and they don't move with any discernment. First person that makes them happy, makes them laugh, makes them smile. First person that makes them feel good, gives them good sex. They think that's the one, that's my person. We're gonna be together forever. And I think it's a two-way street. I think you got people who act on it like that, and then you have people who like almost present themselves, or they go about it, or they just like, kind of, they're just acting. It's a lot of people out there who date and they just acting the whole time. They pretending to be whoever you want them to be so that you like them and so that they can end up fucking you and shit like that. So if you bring that person in who can like manipulate who he is and how he acts just to be around, just to fuck somebody, and then you find a person who's like, the minute someone makes them feel good, makes them happy, that person is just like all in. When these two people combine, it is hell, man. And that's how you get these rush and fuss relationships. Like, people be together for 2-3 months. Next thing you know, they hate each other's guts. Like, and I really need y'all to stop doing that shit, man. I really need y'all to start moving with discretion when y'all date. I need y'all to start communicating and being honest with people, because you see a lot of people just rushing and they rushing to get together and they're fussing almost immediately. I'm begging y'all to stop that shit, man. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Next topic that I wanted to get into is are niggas really not approaching women in real life? All right, so I'm gonna do a little research here, because I was listening to a podcast about it, and then the guy on the podcast. All right, so it was a podcast, and it was like they interviewed this reporter who was like, doing research on it and shit like that. And as they're interviewing him about it, the host of the podcast casually asked him, and the way she asked him, you could tell she was not expecting the answer that she got. And she asked him, like all giggling, haha, like, hey, how's it go like the last time you, or if you ever, like, do you still approach women in real life? And he was like, no. And her laugh got really quirky and awkward. So they dived in it real quick, and he described why he doesn't do it. The reason for why he doesn't do it, he says, it's like multiple things, but the one thing that he harped on was the fact that he was genuinely afraid of making someone uncomfortable in a public setting, as well as being afraid of rejection. Now, I think people who are scared to do shit like that, how can I say this? They think it's deeper than what it actually is. So, in order to be comfortable at the cold approach, I think it's called cold approach or whatever, when you go after somebody in real life versus online. Now I think that issue starts from a young age. If you not like when we was like kids, teenagers, we in 6th, 7th grade, if we saw somebody we liked, whether it be school or at a party, at a bus stop, when you kids, that's when you're shy, afraid, and all the other shit the guy talked about, right? But if you're a kid and you were with the homies and shit like that, and y'all politicking, oh, go over there, go talk to her, whatever. At some point when you're a kid, you're supposed to build up at least enough courage to approach a woman in real life. And as a kid, that's when you really get those shots up. That's when you really get all that shit out the way. All that rejection, making somebody uncomfortable. That's when you want to do it while you're young. And the reason why I say that is because, so you're going to get people say like, why my son doesn't need to have a girlfriend at such a young age and blah, blah, blah. Like when I was in kindergarten, I remember me and this girl would talk on the phone all the time. My mom would sit on the phone and listen, because with landlines, you could do that back in the day. And that's just what it was. Like my mom didn't try to shield me from that shit or nothing like that, because she knew at some point I'm going to be talking to women. So men should do that at a young age, because for one, there's not a lot to lose. If you don't really know how to talk to women, approach women, shit like that, once you start doing that shit as a 25-year-old, 30-year-old man, and you make someone uncomfortable, and you react a certain way, and that makes her react a certain way, and next thing you know, it just gets weird when it can get weird when adults are having issues with one another in a public setting. People pay attention more. People start to, it's just a lot more in the line when you're older. When you're a kid, stakes are extremely low. It just doesn't matter. Like when I was a kid, you get rejected all the time. A girl might say, oh, like, ew, she might jump scare or some shit like that. So when you're a kid, if you don't get these reps in as a kid, you are going to be shit out of luck when you get older, man. Like, so it pretty much starts by getting the reps in while you don't have much to lose. You got to start young. And if you miss that period, my best advice for you is to start just get in the habit of just talking to women, whether that be at work, in line, at the gym. Just get in the habit of talking to women you don't know, strangers. Every conversation with a woman, every encounter with a woman doesn't have to end in an exchange of numbers. It does not have to end in her falling in love with you. It just doesn't have to end with like any of that. Sometimes it can just end with for the most part, you should be hoping that any encounter with a woman that you have, you should, at minimum, it should end with a smile. That's it. That's it. If you can consistently do that, you will start to be able to identify and be able to see different body language and read it and be able to tell when someone, is fond of you or enjoying being around you. If you can't read body language, you can't pick up on that shit because you didn't get those reps in as a kid. Like, it's so much shit that I can pick up on while I'm talking to a girl. Like, if I'm trying to talk to a girl and she was with her friends and she's like I'm facing her, but she's like not really facing me. Her hips aren't really facing me. She's like, her body is like this way, but she's talking to you looking this way. That's a woman who's waiting for you to stop talking to her so she can go back to her friends. Now, if you're talking to a woman and she kind of like reels in a little bit, but maybe the eye contact isn't there, like she's looking away, that woman might be a little shy. It doesn't mean she doesn't like you. She just might be just a little shy. People that are shy, the last thing they want to do is make eye contact with somebody they do not know. And if she's shy, that doesn't mean she doesn't like you. She could just be shy. And if you can pick up on that, that's also something that you can build on in the conversation. Like, oh, damn, like you seem a little shy. Like, am I make you uncomfortable? Something like that. You just want to be quick, man. You just want to pick up on certain things. Now, you're not going to get this immediately, but this is why those reps as a kid is important, because like it's a lot of things I can pick up on. Like, I'll just give y'all like a play-by-play. Like, when I was single, if I would go out, we would go out. I would just be there, looking around. First, I'm looking around just to really get a feel of the ratio. Ratio is important for me. Once I can establish what the ratio is, cool, boom. Get a drink or something, because do what works for you. Do your best to get comfortable. Do not go into a party or place and just try to just hoping, just winging it. You got to go in there with a plan, for better or worse. But I'm only talking to the people who have problems approaching and dating women in real life. If you have an issue with it, you got to develop a plan. If you plan on going in there, talking to someone and meeting someone, going there with it's not like some intense plan, but like just be intentional. That's what I mean by having a plan. So, just go in there, I'll scope out the ratio, boom, okay, it's more guys than girls in here. That means there's going to be a lot of women in here who've been getting cracked on nonstop. You got to be wary of that, because there's some girls out there, they could just be burnt out for the night, all right? Put a pin in that, a girl being burnt out for the night. After you scope out the ratio, get comfortable. For me, how I get comfortable, I got to get a few drinks in me. Once I get a couple drinks in me, feeling loose or whatever, feeling the music, shit like that, that's when you want to begin having a conversation with a woman. Remember in the beginning I told y'all you want to get in the habit of just talking to a woman without it ending in her falling in love with you, you getting her number. I told y'all at minimum every encounter with a woman should end with a smile. You want to get in the habit of talking to women. You want to get in the habit of just having free flowing conversations. So once I get a little loose, I start drinking. Now I might run into a girl I already know. I might run into a girl I've seen online. She seen me online or something like that. Or I might just, talk to a girl at the bar. You want to just spark up a quick conversation, like, just get in the habit of talking to women, and so you can pick up on certain body language and social cues. Get in the habit of talking to women, so you can get, so you can be able to know what works for you or what doesn't work for you in terms of what you talk about, subject matter, shit like that. So after I'm loose, I might be at the bar. You might see a girl and her friends singing, just say something to her, oh, this y'all shit, boom, cool. Like, you just want to do something to get a woman to genuinely smile or laugh. That's how you, for one, that helps build confidence. For two, you getting your reps in. You're figuring out what works. You're figuring out what's funny. Boom, boom, boom. After that, then you want to start, approach women. And then when you approach a girl, dog, just ask her, like, hey, like, can I talk to you for a second? The reason for asking that is because it goes to my point earlier about a girl being burnt out for the night. You want to ask a girl if I can talk to you for a second because, for one, you're acknowledging that there is a possibility that she doesn't want to talk. Because a lot of times guys go out and they think every girl that's out is available just because she's out, and that couldn't be further from the truth. She might be out because her friends dragged her out. She might have came out because it's, I don't know. She might have just came out just to get some food, and she ended up going to this spot. She wasn't really trying to do none of that. She might be out, but might just be in an awful mood, and this is just how she deals with it, or she's just masking it. She could be out and not be on none of that shit that you on just because she's out. So you want to go over there and say, hey, how you doing? Like, you can add your sauce. Like, oh, I think you're pretty. Like, can I talk to you for a second? Like, oh, excuse me. Like, are you here with somebody? You got a boyfriend or something? I just wanted to talk to you for a second. You want to try these things, because what that does is it gives her the space to, one, say no. It gives her the space to be able to feel like that she can walk away from this at any time. Because a lot of times, how you end up making a girl uncomfortable is when you, like, go up to talk to her and you feel like, and she feels like you have her cornered. If she feels like that, like, just like, and we are still very much primitive. Anybody that feels cornered is going to act crazy and try to get out of the corner. Like, you're going to try to do whatever to get out. Desperation kicks in. So that's why you need to ask a girl, is it cool if I talk to you? Is it, can I talk to you for a second? That's why, because you just don't know what's going on. And once she does that, then it's on you to, it's on you to let your personality shine. A lot of you niggas do not have personality. Like, y'all will approach a girl and have nothing to talk about. Y'all not funny. Your breath stink. You just weird and awful. You got to get these reps in. Go over there, talk to her, and just do your best to make sure that it ends with a smile. Pick up on body language. If she's looking at you, but her body is facing the other way, she might be ready to go, brother. You gotta let her go. Say, oh, like, if I'm holding you up, I'm sorry, I'll let you go. Shit like that. Or if you ask for a number and she's like, she don't really give it to you immediately. Actually, that's another thing. I don't ask for girls' numbers when I go out, because I found out a lot of girls would just give up their number to get you out of their face, or they'll just give up their number because they scared. They don't know how you're going to react. Because a lot of niggas that start tripping once they get rejected. If you want a girl, say, hey, can I give you my number? So, sometimes I might explain it to them if it feels like in the flow of conversation, or I'll just do it. And the reason you want to give a girl your number, because if she reaches out, you got one. She's fucking with you. So that's how you can become more efficient. Because you gave her your number and she does something with it. That's efficiency. That that weeds out people a lot faster, because when I was younger, we would go out to parties and shit like that, and you just giving out your number. You wake up the next morning. I mean, not giving out your number. You just getting all these numbers. You wake up the next morning, or as the night ends, you texting, calling this number, texting, boom, boom, boom. Say you get like 9 numbers, 3 reply, 2 you really talking to for a week or more, and 3 weeks go by, you ain't talking to nobody whose numbers you got. Now you wasting up space in your phone, and you just did all of that for nothing. That's not efficient. All fellas, always give your number out. It makes the woman a lot more comfortable. It puts her in control of this whole encounter, and it shows that you're not really like pressed. Like girls don't like niggas that's pressed. So I'm gonna be diving into this a lot more in the future, but for now, actually, hold on, I want to look something up real quick, because I told you I was gonna do a little research. Let me go to Chat GPT, because I want to tell y'all the numbers, because these statistics are crazy. What percentage of men don't approach women in real life? All right, that's kind of sort of a vague, not vague, but it's kind of a blanketed question, but we'll see what happens. All right, so Chat GPT says estimates of the percentage of men who don't approach women in real life vary across different studies and demographics. 2022 survey found that 63% of men under 30 were single, compared to 34% of women in the same group. This suggests that a significant number of young men may not be engaging in traditional approaches. A 2025 study replicated a 1989 experiment where individuals were approached on a university campus with propositions for dates, going home together, or casual sex. The findings indicated that the proportion of men agreeing to such propositions decreased from 56% in the 1980s to just 25% in the 2020s. This decline may reflect increased caution in approaching strangers due to heightened awareness of potential risk. You niggas are scaring the women, I'm telling you. At minimum, every encounter with a woman should end with her smiling or laughing. Please, I'm begging y'all. Everything does not have to end with you getting her number or her falling in love with you. It just doesn't have to end like that. It doesn't have to end with her going home with you. Just please make sure you're ending these encounters with her smiling. These studies suggest a trend where a notable percentage of men, particularly younger ones, are less likely to approach women in person compared to previous decades. Factors contributing to this trend include fear of rejection, risk aversion, and the rise of online dating platforms offering alternative avenues for meeting potential partners. I don't like that online dating shit, because no one is held accountable online. Like, you can meet somebody on there. Like, I've met multiple people through apps like Twitter and Instagram, but even to me, that feels a lot more organic or a lot closer to real life than a fucking dating app. Like, with Twitter, people tweet and shit like that, but you don't really know who a person is. They don't really, give themselves up fully. So you can still be able to develop something and, like, just chip away at a person and know more about them. And, things start coming off and they're more revealing and shit like that to you. But, like, on a dating app, you get on there and motherfuckers be like 27, love dogs. You giving up all this information that you would normally get through a normal encounter, a normal approach in real life. That's why dating apps do not fucking work. Like, this shit is so stupid to me. You get on there and this person got this big ass bio, and guarantee you if you started asking them questions, it's like, why is this motherfucker questioning me? And you probably can't even ask questions for real or find out conversation, because it's just, they already told you everything. Things that you would find out organically to, build a rapport with somebody. All right, one last thing. Actually, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to move on because I want to hurry up and wrap up. I got to go. And I'm going to dive into that a lot more another time. I might do a whole episode on this maybe next Sunday. Do a little role play or something like that. because that's something that's really been bothering me, man. You niggas gotta get this shit together, for real. Because the women are terrified, man. All right, so next topic, last topic, my thoughts on the recession. I think you niggas need to eliminate more bills. Eliminate these bills, because I think what's happening, that we're in the digital era, a lot of things can be put on auto pay and come directly out of your bank account. And with a lot of these companies understanding that model, a lot of these companies are starting to create subscription-based businesses. You know, they're charging you monthly. They're, $8.99, $9.99, $12.99, $45.99, shit like that. Everything is subscription-based. You paying it monthly. It's not a lot of things you can pay for annually. And I think what happens is a lot of consumers get caught up in things. Oh, it's only $9.99. It's only $10.99. Oh, I can get that. I can get this. And next thing you know, you have something coming out of your account every single day. Now, factor that in if you get paid bi-weekly. Now, factor that in when you still got to feed yourself and take care of yourself throughout the week. Now, factor that in if you have children. Now, factor that in if you want to go on a date. Now, factor that in if you want to start buying clothes. You got all this money coming out. If you have one job and that job may not it's not paying to make you like wealthy or something like that, you're not quite living check to check. But when you start letting all these subscriptions add up, guess what? Essentially, you will be living check to check, because you have all of these things that are coming out of your account every day. Like when we were younger, back in the day, we had bills, but these subscription things, like every Monday I check my account because I just know something's going to come out of my account from something, whether it be a streaming ad, whether it be like I'm paying for iCloud, $2.99 a month, whether it be Apple Music. And I didn't even factor in like the real bills like rent, car note, insurance, car insurance, what else? Your phone bill, credit card bills. Like, it's not that I don't think that the recession will be that detrimental, but I think it will be if you constantly have money coming out of your account throughout the week. Unless you're bringing in money every day, money should not be coming out of your account every day from all these subscription services and stuff like that. So these subscription services are starting to, I think they definitely are playing a role. And I think a lot of people have convinced themselves that they aren't living above their means because they can afford a $9.99 subscription, a $14.99 subscription. Like, just because you can afford that in a vacuum is cool, but you may not be able to afford that on top of the other shit you got going on. So eliminate as many bills as you can. Try to consolidate. Try to get on family plans. Try to get on you just want to consolidate it. You don't want to have shit coming out of your account every single day. That's really my thoughts on a recession. Live below your means, cancel those subscriptions, try to try to get you like a Fire Stick or something like that. Just really eliminate these bills, y'all. I promise this shit's not going to get better at any time. And a lot of people aren't even present. A lot of people are mindlessly racking up bills because these subscriptions are so quote unquote cheap. Please be mindful. Eliminate all those dumbass BS bills you got. Eliminate all that BS you got coming out of your account every month, different days in the month, and you look up and there's something coming out of your account every week. Eliminate all that shit, man. The recession is here. And if you just want to improve your quality of life, you're going to have to peel back some and start to live like a little bit of a minimalistic lifestyle. I don't think the recession would be that bad unless you just a consumer, honestly. Like, I don't need to have every streaming app. I don't need to have every sneaker. I just don't need to have everything. Like, you need to rest your head on your core values, shit like that. Find you a nice hobby. Like I work out, I love sports betting, shit like that. These things that don't necessarily require a ton of money, and I won't feel like I need to obtain all that other shit because I got other shit going on, whether it's my hobbies, my day in life, shit like that. So I think that wraps up Sunday service. I'm about to go to the gym. I got to train somebody. And I'll talk to y'all next week, man. I'm going to have some better topics for y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all.